What's up, everybody? Welcome to Buzzworthy TV, and I'm your girl, Lady T. I want to first start off by telling everybody Happy New Year. You guys, 2023 is going to be the year that we all prosper, not only financially but mentally, spiritually, all the above. Okay, 2023 is our year, so I just want to tell everybody and wish everybody a very happy new year. And this year, as you know, is my year to what? Get this YouTube channel popping. So before we begin, I'm gonna need y'all to do two things. Number one, like the video. Number two, subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to, just as I said, wish everybody Happy New Year. And then want to kick off my first video of the year with talking about and detailing my experience and giving my review on the Whitney Houston biopic, I Want to Dance with Somebody, okay? So, first of all, I want to let everybody know that if you do not know, I am a huge Whitney Houston fan, okay? It goes beyond me just wearing a Whitney Houston t-shirt, okay, on this video, okay? It's beyond that. It goes beyond me meeting this incredible legend, not once, but twice. Okay, I got a signed CD. Yes, the voice herself signed my CD. She signed the Preacher's Wife CD when I went to the My Love Is Your Love concert. Shout out to my bestie, Brianna, who got me front row seats at the time, okay? And shout out to my other bestie who I went with to go see this movie. We were able to go see a sneak peek on December the 22nd, a day before the official release. And when I tell you that we had an amazing time, we're both Whitney Houston fans. Like, we are diehard fans. We know every song. My bestie knows every note, okay, because she's an up-and-coming singer. And me, I know every note. I know every song. And me being into entertainment journalism, I know the ins and outs of her career as far as, the ups and downs of her personal life. So we were and are diehard Whitney fans, okay? And so we came into there, of course, with an open mind, but also with, a little bit of criticism. Want to, make sure they're doing our girl right. So let's get into the review, shall we? And again, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe to my channel, guys. We gonna do it this year. I ain't gonna stop. As long as y'all with me, I'm here, okay? I ain't gonna stop. I ain't gonna let y'all down this time. So let's get it. Okay, so let's start with the movie. Okay, so as you guys know, like I said, I love Whitney. Met her once when I had the amazing opportunity to get front row seats to the My Love Is Your Love tour. She literally signed this CD while on stage, okay? She literally stopped what she was doing, asked me were me and my best friend enjoying the show, and signed my CD. Now, don't ask me why they had a My Love Is Your Love CD at the time. Listen, that's a whole nother story. That's going to be for another story time, okay? But she was gracious enough. She signed that CD. And then I met her a second time when I was an extra in Sparkle. So, yes, I was an extra in Sparkle. I'm in the club scene with CeeLo Green when he's singing that song. Because I'm a man. So, yeah, I got a chance to meet her when I was an extra on the film. And she was just as amazing as she was when I met her in 1999. So, anyway, I want to just first talk about the characters and the actors of the film, okay? So first we're going to talk about that. Okay, of course we have Naomi Ackie playing Whitney Houston, and there was a lot of controversy stating that she doesn't look like Whitney. Will she be able to embody her grace, her stage presence, and all of this? Now, to be honest, does she look like Whitney? No, not at all. But she does, to me, you can tell, does her best to embody her mannerisms, her presence. You can tell she was very dedicated. So I want to give Naomi Ackie, her accolades for that, okay? And so I also want to begin this review by asking the question, was the Whitney Houston biopic a disaster? Okay, so let's start with that question, and then I'm going to answer it at the end of this review. Okay, so beginning, as I said, with the characters, Naomi Aki. Her not necessarily looking like Whitney, but doing her best to capture the mannerisms, capture, the essence of who she was. I do feel like you can tell and see what she was trying to do. You can definitely see that she put a lot of effort into what she was doing in regards to Whitney. However, in some aspects, it was like she missed the mark in the sense of, yes, some instances you were giving me Whitney, but in certain instances, it was like you spent a lot of time trying to make sure that you got it right, that you overthought it. Some of that came off like you're overthinking it, not fake, but that you're overthinking it. Now again, Naomi Aki, she did her thing. Let me fix my hair, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so she did her thing. Okay, I'm not taking that away from her. I just wish that it came across at some points more authentic. Then we also have, the character of Robin Crawford. I do apologize if I don't have everyone's name that played the supporting characters. Charge it, charge to my head, not my heart. Okay, so the person that played Robin, I think she did a very good job for what she had. I mean, the script to me didn't give a lot of character development, but I'm going to get into that. So for what she had with the script, I thought that the person who played Robin did very well. And then we also have Clive Davis's character. I think Stanley Tucci did an amazing job, and I think him and Naomi Aki did an amazing job of capturing the kinship and the friendship of Clive and Whitney. You had that father-daughter relationship, that also the business relationship of, record exec to artist, and you got to see all aspects, and I love that. I do think that they captured that very well, and I do think that that came from them having their own and developing their own relationship off camera. So kudos to them and capturing that. I want to say that that was one of my highlights, because I feel like they captured that. If they didn't capture nothing else, they captured the dynamic of Whitney and Clive. Then we have Sissy Houston. Now, don't get it twisted. I know the actress, I just don't remember her name, but I know she's been in a lot of things. And to me, she did a great job portraying Sissy. She gave you that overbearing but loving mother. And she did her thing. I can't take that away from her. John Huston, he gave that, your daddy's princess, but he gave that complex dynamic of, your daddy's little girl, but now you're becoming this big, huge star and we're getting all this money. So what do we do with that? It shows him having that conflict of, this is my daughter, but we're making all this money and we're living the high life. Like, I do think the film did capture the essence of a family, not that they were poor, but a family that came from middle class means to a family that did skyrocket to superstardom, so they had wealth that they didn't know before. You know what I mean? It's different when I can take care of my bills and we're okay to, oh, we can have private jets. We're living in mansions. You know what I mean? So I do think that he captured that. Yes, did he come off unscrupulous sometimes, but I believe he captured the love of his daughter along with, his greed. Alrighty, so also I want to just give an overview of the film. So let's talk about the film. Now, the film to me gave an amazing overview. If you just want an overall overview of her life, it goes from, when she was a teenager singing with her mom at Sweetwater's, to her meeting Robin, to her signing her contract, to her rising to superstardom, to her meeting and marrying Bobby Brown, to her, getting a role on The Bodyguard to, they're speaking on, she's done more acting roles, and to her picking out songs, and to her furthering her career. It does give an amazing overview of that. That's basically what the movie is about. It's basically, giving you an overview of her life and her many amazing accomplishments as a singer, and just giving credence to what she did as an artist. So I just want to let you know, if you want to get like an amazing overview of her career, then, check out the movie for that. It does give, I believe, an acknowledgement and, you know, great context to her musical career. But we're going to get to what I feel like is lacking in a minute, okay? But I will give it a strong point in regards to just highlighting some of her pivotal moments. They did do that, okay? Now, what I liked about the movie, because I definitely got to give, I got to give some positive points before we go into the negative. Now, what I liked about the movie is that it focused on her career. I love the fact that, we got to talk about, her Star Spangled Banner rendition at the Super Bowl. I love the fact that we got to talk about her AMA performance after The Bodyguard, and she did that melody of I Love You Porgy and I Am Telling You and I Have Nothing. I mean, if you Google or YouTube that, there's nothing like it. Nothing compares to it at all. So that is a very important highlight of her career. So I'm glad that they shone light on that, because it says a lot, I should say, to her instrument of her voice, to her technique and everything. That melody, she sang for almost 10 minutes straight, you guys. Please Google that performance, okay? So I love that they mostly highlighted her career and kind of downplayed her struggles, because, she was more than her struggles. And I think, like, towards the end, that's all that they focus on. I do believe that is because that we started going into the age of social media. When she started to decline, we were starting to get into Twitter and Facebook and, reality TV. She had one of the first reality shows with being Bobby Brown. So Whitney did a lot. Whether we like it or not, she's did a lot. I mean, as far as movies, music, even reality TV, whether people liked how she was spotlighted on reality TV, she had one of the highest rated reality TV shows, when reality TV was just becoming a thing. So, with that being said, I'm glad that they highlighted just the career aspect. They highlighted her career, her talent. So I love that about the movie. And I love the fact that they highlighted how she was so talented in how she picked the songs. Like, no, I'm not even going to say she wasn't a writer, because she started to write. She helped co-write, My Love Is Your Love. I'm sorry, not My Love Is Your Love. She helped co-write, We Got Something in Common. She helped co-write The Queen of the Night. She helped co-write, the song that she did with CeCe Winans, with Count on Me, So she began to write, and What You're Looking At, which was on the Just Whitney album, which was the second to last album that she did. So she did start to write. But what I found amazing and thought that they captured amazingly in this film was that the fact that they captured how, even when she wasn't a writer, she knew how to pick a song, and now how to produce herself, and how to make it, essentially pop. She knew how to, oh, you need a hook? I'll give it a hook. That type of thing. I love that about her, So I love how they highlighted that, how she may not have been the best writer, but she knew how to pick a song and knew how to make it a hit, and knew what was a hit and what wasn't a hit, So I love that they highlighted that. And so let's also talk about what I didn't like about the film. What I didn't like about the film is that, honestly, overall, what I didn't like about the film is only really one gripe. It's the fact that I felt like though that they tried to cover her entire, from her teenage years to the time that she left us, that they only touched the surface because they were trying to convey her entire life. They tried to cover her entire life, so they just touched on everything. They touched on her relationship with Robin. They touched on her relationship with Jermaine Jackson. They touched on her relationship with Bobby. They touched on her relationship with her parents, her brothers, and that whole scenario and everything. But they never dove deep. And so we never got a sense of the character development. We never got a sense of who Whitney was, the person, and how she got to these points, how she got to, okay, my parents are arguing all the time and I'm self-medicating with my brothers because we're tired of hearing them argue, to, I'm falling victim to the pressures of the media and to stardom, so I'm even self-medicating even more. They didn't get into the growth and the evolution of the character. They just touched on it. So each time it's like we're touching on it. And it's like, but you're not giving me any content. So I really wish that they would give us more content. And I only know with a motion picture, you only have a certain amount of time. But I just feel like when we look at movies like Ray, what's love got to do with it? Even I'll take it back to Lady Sings the Blues, that we have seen movies that done it very well. And if you can't do it very well, then maybe you should try to do a docu-series like how they did with Aretha. Aretha had a docu-series and she also had a motion picture. And I feel like with Whitney being who she is and who she was, she deserved what Aretha got, a docu-series and then also a motion picture, because I just feel like we haven't seen it done right. So yeah, you guys, if you want to ask me, did they, the question is, was the Whitney Houston biopic worth going to see? What did they, kind of dilute some things? Is it worth going to see? And I want to say yes, it's worth going to see, because if you're not a Whitney Houston fan, you're just a fan of her music and you just want to get a overall view of who she was, this is the movie to see. But if you're a Whitney Houston fan like I am, you're gonna notice that it's missing a lot. It's missing a lot. It's missing who Whitney really was. As far as we didn't get to see who she was to Brandy, to Monica, to Kelly Price, to Faith Evans, to all the up and coming artists in the industry. Like when Whitney was that artist that, though she was the voice, she never looked down on anyone. She always was that person that, yes, she could articulate very well. Yes, she could outsing a lot of individuals, but she also wanted to bring the younger artists up and wanted to give them encouragement and knew that she was a mentor to the up and coming artists. So I wanted to see more of that, And I just think that it was missing a little bit of who she was as a person. I'm glad that they highlighted her career and her talent, but also to get a grand scale of who Whitney was, we need either to be done right or not to be done at all. So that's just my take on the Whitney Houston biopic, I Want to Dance with Somebody. Did it do Whitney Houston justice in regards to her talent, her career? I think so, but to who she was overall, I think we're still searching. So till next time, y'all, peace and love.